Greetings and welcome to the Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast. I'm Phyllis Hollis, your host. As an extension of my Instagram page, Cerebral Women, this podcast offers insights into the visual art world. I interview artists, mainly artists of color and female artists who will freely articulate what inspires their creativity. In addition, you'll hear interesting perspectives from dedicated art professionals who work with artists and the art institutions that feature them. I'm confident that collectively, these individuals will indeed stimulate your mind as they do our eyes. Please know these interviews are conducted in my Manhattan apartment, so please forgive the background sounds of city life. Welcome to the Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast. In this episode of the Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast, I feature Delphine Desane. She is a Brooklyn-based artist born and raised in Paris, France by Haitian parents. She began her career as a stylist in the fashion industry. After becoming a mother, she began to paint during her free time. Delphine was soon discovered and commissioned to create the cover image for Vogue Italia in January 2020. In April 2021, Vogue US featured her illustration titled Bittersweet in a story about motherhood. Since then, her work has been exhibited in both solo and group exhibitions in the US, Canada, Europe, and the UK. She had her first solo show at Luce Gallery in Italy in early 2021, and group exhibitions include MOMU Fashion Museum in Belgium, MOMU Museum in Morocco, and in a public installation featuring 6 Haitian visual artists at the Brooklyn Academy of Music titled A Return, Liberation as Power. In 2021, Delphine was commissioned by Fela Kuti's son, Femi and Made, to paint album covers released by Partisan Records of 2 albums packaged together titled Legacy Plus. Jacquemus, a fashion brand, selected Delphine to paint its Impossibly French Spring-Summer 2021 campaign. Her work is in the collections of the Student Museum of Harlem, MOMU Museum in Morocco, amongst others. She is currently in a group show in New York City at the Pace Gallery, September 10th through October 23rd this year. Welcome, and please enjoy this episode of the Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast featuring Delphine Desane. Delphine, I am tickled pink to have you here on my Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So my first question is, when did you discover your artistic passion?
I think it's at a very young age, because as a kid, I was always watching my mom making dresses, and she was really handy. She was always doing things at home. And I think that's how I started to get interested in fashion and buy magazines and start doing things on my own. So I will say around 8, 9, 10 years old. And then from fashion, I slowly got interested into art.
So you're a creative person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're still using your hands.
Yeah, exactly. I was mostly using my hands because I'd never really learned how to draw. I was never interested in it. It's a bit ironic now, but but yeah, I was always creating with my head. That's all I wanted to do, and I always had this big imagination of making story in my head, and I always have a lot of imagination. But drawing and painting was not in the picture until my son arrived, pretty much.
Yeah, though they do that to us.
Yes.
and when you started to focus on painting, was there a particular artist that influenced you?
Yeah. So there is a few artists that made a strong impact on me. I would say the first one that comes to my mind was Kerry James Marshall. That was one of the rare artists that I've discovered from the other side of the Atlantic in France. That was Black and influential. And then Gauguin was also a big influence on my work. But I'm always, I would say, it's a bit problematic for me that he was a white man painting Black women. And I think that my work focus on and promote the fact that I'm a Black woman painting Black women. Mm-hmm. And in a way, I want people to understand that there is a big difference because I'm not objectifying those women the way he was doing, but mm-hmm. I just feel very inspired by this color, this composition, and when I saw Kerry James Marshall work, it kind of reminds me of that because he's painting Black people from a Black perspective, and Gauguin is not. So I have these two big men painter in my head a lot of time. The third one will be Louise Bourgeois. Because Louise Bourgeois she's a French, but she was living in America. And her work is really centered about women and motherhood and all around her traumatic experience of living as a woman. And until now, I have yet to find a Black woman artist who have centered her work around motherhood. So for me, Louise Bourgeois is really somebody that I admire. I really like her work and how she also work on different medium, whether it's painting, fabric works, ceramic, poem, like writing. I really feel connected to this practice because that's also what I do. I can't focus on only one medium. So yeah, those three are a big influence in my work.
Interesting. On the subject of motherhood, how does that impact your creativity?
Well, I started painting after I had my child. So I didn't paint before. So for me, painting I started with motherhood. So I can't detach myself from that because this was the starting point. Like if I didn't have my child, I don't know if I would be painting today. I have no idea, to be honest. So for me, there is a big link, that influenced my work in a lot of ways. I have a lot of diptych in my work. I work a lot around diptych, around two canvases and about asymmetry. And this is because in my mind, being a woman and being a mother, it's two different things. Because there's always this duality in my work. There's the one side, which is the woman, and the other side, which is a mother. And that's also explains why one side of my woman figure has a white eyes, and then the other one is darker. It's the duality that always come back. And it came naturally from the very beginning. Yeah, so it's always there.
Yeah, I love that. And when you approach a canvas, mm-hmm. what overtakes you? How do you feel?
It's very liberating to start painting. It can be painful sometimes, but the first feeling that comes is liberation, because I express myself better on creating picture. That's really my medium. And I think that previously, when I was a stylist, I was composing picture, which was different thing. But now I'm actually creating this picture without any limitation that I used to have. So that's why it's liberating for me, because I just let the painting take me wherever it's taking me without thinking about the limitation that I can have with other medium, which before was photographic limitation.
So when do the titles of your paintings enter the creative process?
They always come after. When I started painting, I really don't know where it's going to take me until I put the background. And I usually have to wait maybe 1 day or 2 days after I finish the painting. I let the painting sit in my studio, go back home, and then I come back. And then I look at it, and then I can think about a title. But I can never find a title after a painting session or on the spot. I have to wait to sit back to look at it again, and then the title comes.
Do you listen to music when you're working?
I do, yes. It just changes depending of my mood and the season we're in. But I do need some music to keep me going.
But you do some work with musicians, right?
I did one collaboration with the Cutie family, so Femi Cutie and Made Cutie, which are Fela Kuti's son and Fela Kuti's grandson, respectively. And I painted their portrait for a joint album release last year, Legacy Plus. And this was my first male painting that I've ever done, which was really stressful for me.
Really?
Yes. And yeah, that was really stressful. And I think maybe that the stress probably pushed me to do my best for this commission. But I had to be on a Zoom with them and just had like this long conversation with them just to get their I needed to see their face moving and their emotion to put it back on the canvas, because I couldn't do it any other way. I mostly paint women, which are easier for me to paint because they're a little bit, they're a part of me. But to start a male figure is always difficult for me. So that Zoom meeting was really helpful in that process.
Well, you're honest and it's natural. So yeah, no. I wish I could comment, but because I'm not an artist, but yeah, I would think that if it's natural for you to paint women, then to suddenly make that change, I think there might have to be an adjustment.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to bring up the subject of COVID, but how did it impact your process or your practice?
Well, for me, it was there was a positive and a negative impact. So because I'm a parent, and during the first month of lockdown, I didn't have access to childcare because everything was closed. So that was a negative impact for me. I had to find a way to work and being with my son all the time. Mm-hmm. So I had to work at night. So there was some time where I was with my son all day, and then I was working at night, and then I was basically doing that for a couple of days, and then I would stop because I had no other choice. And then the positive aspect of that was that because the quarantine also allowed me to refocus and to focus mainly on myself and not having too much distraction. I couldn't travel, I couldn't go anywhere. So all I could do was really work. So once the city started to reopen, and then my son got access to childcare, I was coming to my studio every single day. And I think it was a relief to have that creative space at that time, because that really helped me with dealing with all the death and the loss and all the news that was coming in every day, and also me being so far from my family in this difficult time. Being able to express myself on the canvas during that time was really important, and that was the positive aspect for me.
And what do you enjoy most about being an artist?
The freedom, the freedom of it, to just being able to paint at my own path and paint whichever subject that I want. And yeah, it's a free, liberating practice for me. And it's less restrictive than any other career that I had before. So for me, the freedom of it is really something that I enjoy.
I can appreciate that. And while you're working, while you're creating, do you ever think of who your audience is?
No, I don't really think about it. Because when I start a canvas, everything usually comes from an emotion, and I have to focus on this to being able to put that emotion on the subject. So it's really main conversation with who's gonna appear on the canvas. So I don't think about the audience. I have to think about the subject to be able to paint that emotion.
And do you feel that your audience understands your work? Can they look at your work and understand the motherhood component? Is that visible?
I think they do. From what I've heard, from what I've heard, but I don't know. I've had also a lot of mothers from all around the world contacting me from Instagram and on Instagram and telling me how they relate so much to my work. I've had a lot of, I don't know, I feel like mother have even a better understanding of the work, but non-mother also can relate to my work in different ways. But I think, yes, I don't know.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, it's great they reach out.
Yeah.
It's good to get that feedback. What do you feel is the purpose of art?
The purpose of art, I think it can make people feel better about themselves, because if work resonates with you on a certain level, and you kind of like you connect with the painting deeply, which has happened in my studio. I had a visit here, and somebody cried in my studio because it felt so connected to the work and understand the pain that was put it on the canvas. And I think that when you have this reaction, you feel a bit less alone, and being able to connect with the work that resonates to your own life can help you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, that was a magical moment. I think I probably would have started crying along.
Yeah, it was really deep.
Yeah, I bet it was. Must be very rewarding when people can connect and understand the message that you're conveying through your feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what happened also to me is that because everything happened so fast in 2020, it was my audience, basically, the other people that helped me understood how impactful it was for them to see my work. It took me a long time because I was so much in my bubble. I used to paint in my bedroom whenever I had time, and all of a sudden everything was out. And then I realized that a lot of people connect to this emotion that I was going through to my life that I was putting on the canvas. So that's why I think people relate a lot with my work, is because it's centered around this, and it's just real life pretty much.
Yeah. And would you say that concept or those thoughts are in every painting?
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
It's wonderful. I love artists and all the things that you guys do. So this has been a great conversation, and this is going to be our final question. You've sort of answered it as we've been talking, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you feel is your role as an artist?
To reflect the time that we live in through a different perspective. Maybe a perspective that maybe you're not used to have. And in my case is being a French Black woman living in America, and also a co-parenting mom. I don't think it's something that people in general are used to see. I'm talking about painting in general. And maybe that's why there is this void to fulfill. Sorry, my English. But yeah, it's, I see things from a different perspective. I live in America, but I'm not America. But I still live a lot of. I've been to similar experience than like America I've been living, and went through all their life, but in different countries. And now that I'm here, I feel like it's another. I'm like an outsider, but I still understand what it feels like, because I've been through this like everywhere, and it's not only here. The problem is not only here; it's really an international problem. Unfortunately, the way Black people are being treated in general, And I'm happy. I'm happy that my work is being made here because I'm really at the center. My studio is in Bed-Stuy. During the protests, I was surrounded by protests every day. The helicopter, the siren, it was like every day. And somehow I think I had to put this emotion on the canvas as well. So depending of where I'm painting, it affects my work in many different ways. So yeah, it's just seeing how this moment that we are living in has impacted my life as a Black woman in America.
Thank you for what you do. And I'm delighted to hear that women, mothers, really connect with your work and your work resonates with them. I think that's important, and that's what artists offer us. So thank you so much. This has been a very nice conversation.
Thank you. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast. For additional content, please visit cerebralwomen.com and be sure to follow Cerebral Women on Instagram.